Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Amy Cooper and today we are talking all about foundation. We're going to talk about how to keep it on, how to keep it long wearing and looking flawless throughout your day. I need some foundation on ASAP, so let's get into it straight away. Skin prep is everything, so we're going to start with that. I'm going to move my hair out of the way. One of my biggest beliefs as a makeup artist is to have perfect, flawless, long-wearing foundation. You need to look at your skin prep and make sure that you are looking after the skin first before you whack on foundation. If you're putting on foundation on skin that is just not prepped very well, you're gonna have issues with it sitting not very nice throughout the day. My first step, softening lotion. This is by MAC Cosmetics. This is like a liquid exfoliant for the skin. It's really gentle. And what this does is it really just softens the skin up. I like to spray it on a cotton pad, wipe the skin down. Now this is fantastic if you have actual flakiness or physical dryness on your skin and you need to physically soften the texture of your skin up. It also has vitamin C in it, so it helps to brighten up the skin as well. I even use this at night as like a toner. Just leaves the skin feeling so smooth. It's amazing. Next up, I'm gonna do a hydrating spray. I'm gonna be using MAC's Fix Plus. For an everyday moisturizer, I'm using the Aveeno. This is the Daily Moisturizer Lotion. Fantastic for all skin types, including dry or sensitive. And I find that makeup sits on this really nicely as well. You don't want to use anything super thick underneath foundation because otherwise it's just going to slide off. So we're doing lots of products, but we're keeping it like really thin layers at the same time. For any texture on the skin, this is where you could use a priming product to help fill in pores, fine lines, anything that is on your skin. Today I'm using Benefit's Professional. I like to just use this along the nose area and fill in pores. I don't like to use too much of this product. I don't like to pop it all over the skin. I do find if you're using it like quite a lot, that's when it can kind of clog up the skin. So try and just use it on areas that you have kind of more texture on the skin, and you might be blessed with no pores or not very large pores or fine lines, so you might not even need any product like this. Bitch. Jokes. I love glow so much. I have quite dry skin naturally, so I like to add glow products. Two of my favorite glow products are the Mecca Max Liquid Drops and Max Strobe Cream. Out of the two, this is a little bit more softer. These are a little bit more intense. I want to create a full coverage, flawless look today, so I'm going to use the Mecca Max Drops. Now you can use these on top of the skin, on top of the foundation, after you've done your foundation products. And I'm going to do that too. I find I like to use a lot of glow products underneath and it looks more like it's my skin that's glowing, not products doing that for me. Now I have a lot of redness in my skin, just around my nose and a bit around my mouth. So I'm going to use a bit of Corrector, and what that's going to do is it's going to lift that color away from my skin. And that means I don't have to use as much foundation taking it on to cover the redness. The Corrector will do that for me. I'm using NYX to use as my color corrector today, and you don't need too much of this product. We don't want green to kind of come through the face. We want it to be really subtle. So I'm actually going to use a fluffy brush for this. This is just an eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to lightly pop this product where I feel like I need it. This is going to help my base look flawless and cover that redness without really having to use too much foundation. This is a tip to kind of stop the foundation looking, I guess, so cakey, because we're not having to build it up so much to cover all that redness. You want it to be really sheer so that when we pop the foundation on top, you're not going to see it. Next up, we're going to do foundation, and today I'm using L'Oreal's Infallible foundation, the 24-hour wear. Now I'm going to be using a bit more of a fluffy brush so that I don't accidentally put too much coverage on the skin too quickly. And the areas that I've got that green corrector underneath, I'm kind of just going to press onto the skin. One of my biggest tips, not just for foundation but makeup in general, is to be quite lightweight with your application. So you can see I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my skin, and I'm not putting a lot of product on at one time. It can kind of make it look quite cakey, and also lead to kind of it slipping off or not lasting throughout the day. So I always like to do my foundations in layers. So starting off by doing one kind of thinner layer, and then you can always build on top of that to get the coverage that you want. In the end, you're going to get better results from doing it this way. So you can see that most of my redness from my skin is now covered. It's now looking at the texture, so the areas that I have blemishes, and making sure that they're covered enough for my liking. I'm going to go in with my beauty sponge, and then we're just going to press on extra coverage where I think I need it. And this is basically where I've got any blemishes on the skin. And this will stop the foundation looking so thick all over the skin. You don't have to go full coverage everywhere. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, remembering that we've got things like concealer, powder, cheek products to assist with the coverage as well. I'm going to go into concealer now. I'm using MAC Cosmetics Prolongwear Concealer, and I'm just applying the product with a brush underneath my eye and a little bit on the cheek, and then using my sponge to soften that product. You want to make sure that you bring up the concealer into the inner corner of the eye, and that will help lift any darkness in those inside areas. And then any extra concealer where you feel like you might need a little bit more coverage. I'm going to just pop a little bit here. Oh, that made a love heart. I didn't even mean to do that. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit more Liquid Glow, the highlighter that we used before. And I'm going to just press on a little bit of glow. Because this is a liquid, we want to do this before we powder. So on the cheeks, I like to do my nose, I like the chin, a little bit on the Cupid's bow, and then I really love the top of the brow. Okay, and that's it for liquids. Once you've finished all your liquids, you can move on to powders. Now, powders, it's completely up to you what you want them to look like. I'm gonna do a mix of 2 powders, just because I want my skin to look different in different areas. The 2 powders I'm going to use is MAC's Studio Fix powder. Now this is a full coverage powder, so some people love to whack this on, and that's going to give you quite a full coverage quite quickly, but I do find it's a little bit heavy in certain areas. I'm going to use a lighter powder. I'm still keeping with MAC, but this is their mineral powder. This is a finer milled product. It's a little bit lighter in consistency, and it's not going to look too cakey on the skin. And I'm using it underneath my eyes because I want to set underneath my eyes, but I don't want them to look too cakey. This actually has a little bit of glow in it, so it doesn't mattify the skin too much. So perfect if you're not a huge fan of powder, if you have dry skin. So products like these are fantastic for that. And then I'm going to switch up to the Studio Fix, which is a bit more fuller, and anywhere that I just want to add a bit more coverage. So that might be where you've got any blemishes. Great, that's really, really beautiful foundation. Feeling a bit ghostly, so we're going to add some products to give me some dimension to the skin. So I'm going to start off with bronzer, and that is going to warm up the skin, and it's also going to help sculpt the skin. I'm using Bronze by MAC. Dropped it. Devo. And we're going to pop this in line with the top of the ear and bring it down into that space. Really light, I'm not pressing too much. I'm going to pop that on my forehead, close to the hairline as possible. I'm going to pick one of these colors from the Mecca Max Dream Queen palette to use as a blush. This is Hazy. And we really kind of want to almost blend the bronzer and the blush together. Now you could totally stop there. I like more glow, why not? I'm going to be using Soft and Gentle by MAC. I'm just going to place a little bit just right on the cheek, a little bit on the tip of the nose and the bridge, but you could skip this step if you feel like it's a bit too much for you, whatever floats your boat. So I'm going to finish off with the facial spray that we used before. This is a really nice one to actually keep the skin hydrated, arm's length so it doesn't ruin the makeup, and just a light spray. I'm going to finish off my eyes. And there you have it, guys. We've got a full coverage flawless foundation. This is going to stay all day and it's looking really, really nice. Awesome. Thank you for watching. I hope a few of these tips were really helpful for you in how to create a more flawless and more long wearing foundation. If you liked it, give this a thumbs up. You can also leave me a comment. I'd love to get to know you. And you can also subscribe to my channel. But I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.